Welcome to Impact Investing TV show.
We show you solutions to global environmental and social challenges to inspire you for actions towards the SDGs.
You will also learn the best way to invest your money and create impact while making profit.
Let's discover impact investing world and true sustainability right now. Hi, and welcome to the Swiss Impact with Banerjee, Season 6, Episode 4.
If you remember, the topic of this season is impact investments in time of crisis. As our audience and students are so convinced with the solutions that we provide in any possible crisis, and they were asking us, why don't we scale what we do? And even more, bringing our education TV show in their countries. This is why we decided to share what's going on behind the curtains in our own company. What is our impact and what would we need in terms of resources in order to help more entrepreneurs to find impact investors and speed up the creation of positive impact on our planet.
And that's why today we invited our dear friend Mr. Ash Pachauri, or he's Dr. Ash Pachauri,
I think so, yes.
senior mentor of pop movement, to be our press TV presentator and interview us both. Thank you, Ash. Welcome.
Hi, Ash. Thanks for joining us today in this special role.
I'm delighted to be back together with you, but on the other side of the table today.
Exactly. Please don't make it too hard.
And I think switching perspectives is always useful for everyone.
I completely agree, and I think we'll all have lots to learn from both of you today. And I'm very excited to start off by telling our dear audience a little bit about the two of you. So let me start by introducing both of you, although I know you well, but I think this is him. Them a sense of some of your amazing credentials. So let me start with Sveta. Sveta is the founder of Impact Investing Solutions, the TV show presenter, as well as a TEDx speaker and Impact Investing and Sustainability ambassador for the Diplomatic World Institute. Sveta is a leading expert in the delivery of sustainable development advice to innovative entrepreneurs. She's a guest lecturer and trainer at many universities in Switzerland, including the University of Zurich, ETH, and others. So lots of different universities. When she's not helping the world become a better place, you might find her diving into the deep blue sea, reading bedtime stories to her son, practicing yoga, singing, or dancing. Oh wow, Sveta, that's amazing. What a bio and so many diverse activities even outside of work.
Then yes, for figuring that out, for digging that out.
Well, I want to see how Ben lines up against you. So Ben, here we go. Ben is an experienced entrepreneur and expert in structuring organizations. He has successfully raised funds for impact businesses for over 2 decades, and this is various businesses across the world. He has banking, entrepreneurial, and organizational experience supported by international and multicultural experience and a very strong background in this field. Ben is well known as a speaker at various international and national events and is an advisor to a number of global leaders, governments, policymakers, and the Mayor's Fund on Impact Investment and creating policies by anticipating the flow of events. When he is not doing all of this and trying to make the world a better place, at which both of you succeed, you will find him perhaps reading historical books, diving into the deep blue sea with Sveta. I've seen some of his pictures, amazing. Playing chess with his son, practicing yoga, which I think Sveta is definitely responsible for, and putting finishing
Say
touches.
that.
You second that. Or Ben is putting finishing touches on his latest impact investment articles. So wow, what a
Thank you.
an amazing.
Thank you.
I think we complement each other, kind of. Yeah,
Yeah.
there are intersections, but we
No, no,
complement.
she's my teacher.
I hear that as I started to look into those details, I said, "Huh, this is where Sveta is propelling Ben." Right? She's yeah. But it's stunning and it's stellar, and my congratulations. And again, I'm excited to be on this end of the table talking to you, and I think we'll learn a lot as we spend more time together. So I'm gonna jump into asking both of you a bunch of questions, if you wouldn't mind, and we'd love for you to reflect. So if
Yes.
you want me to go, Ben, first, then what inspired you to get into the impact investing sector?
So, so Ash, as you know, I'm born in India, grew up there. So in India, it's very difficult to live. Doesn't matter whether you're middle class, upper middle class, anything. You're surrounded by poverty. And we had people working at our home or something, and there were slum areas just on the other side of the road or something. So I used to often go and eat with them, play with the children there and everything. So it's very difficult to explain, especially when in the West, how integrated poverty and money and everything is in India. Everything lives next to each other, together with each other in the fact, because you share the same road, same shop, same everything. So, and that I found in some ways extremely unfair from childhood, that how two kids born on two sides of the street, one can go to the best school and other can't even go to a school. Things like that. So that's one aspect. And the other aspect which touched me more is the climate change. So I was very often in Lucknow because my grandparents are from Lucknow. And what I saw, there was an amazing river called Gomti. And I remember in my childhood, with my parents, we spent, with our friends, we used to spend complete evenings on a boat on the river. Today, if you go there, it's like a drain, completely stinking. There's nothing of it left. And that you see the impact of climate change. And that's, I mean, these are just two of the small examples. And when you see this, then it really affected me that maybe I could contribute in the tiniest little possible way to stop this change from happening. So that was what inspired me to get into this sector.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. I think that, when things strike you, especially in your most formative years, and also, they hit home the way that you described, you're deeply inspired and to make change. And I think that shows up in everything you do, including all your interactions. So thank you for that important reflection. And I think for all our listeners and our community that's tuned in right now and or later, I think just understanding that inspiration is key. I'd love to hear from Sveta. And Sveta, how did you switch from a banker career to becoming an impact entrepreneur? And I'd love to hear a little bit about your journey too.
Sure. And I must start with that I think I never was a typical banker in this sense, because my transformation started way before, when I was studying banking and finance. At that time, financial crisis happened. And at that time already, I was thinking like, oh my God, what am I studying? Everyone is blaming finance. So I wanted to do something good, what I can do, right? And at the time, I was also working for a mining company, so mining fund, which is also not the most sustainable. So the journey started there when I wrote my master thesis on the topic responsibility and performance in mining industry. This is how I discovered the whole sustainability world, impact investing, and wanted to go in this direction already. Unfortunately, it was such a new sector at that time. There were barely jobs available. So I needed to go on traditional banking job, but I tried to change the banks from inside out when I joined. Well, I think many of the bankers can confirm that it's not the easiest thing to do. And unfortunately, the banks where I worked were not very willing to change. So I decided, okay, well, I need to do something on the side. And After acquiring so much knowledge on impact investing in Oxford and many conferences, I decided to organize workshops for people to understand that you can create business and make good at the same time. So that's how it started, right? And actually, yoga also played a role here. I went to India, did my yoga teacher training, and when I came back, I went to the bank. I looked at everyone what they're doing at the bank, and I said, "What you guys doing here? What I'm doing here? I have a bigger things to do, or the life is short, so we need to change our world, and I want to be the one contributing to that change." And so I left the bank, and as nobody in impact investing sector was very welcoming to me after some no's from impact investing sector, I decided to create a job for myself. So I became entrepreneur and started to create a change on my own first. And this is how we grew to a team, and we created companies, so like that.
Wow. Wow is the word. And, I think when you have like real world experience of different dimensions, including the banking sector, like you described through your earlier years of work, I think that you bring certain insights into the work that allow you to be way better positioned to make impact yourself and true transformation in the world around you. And I mean, I've seen that. I've seen you doing it firsthand. So I think that this is a very powerful story, and thank you for sharing that. I learn from both of you each time I get to speak with you, and I'd love to know, Ben, how did you decide to start working together?
How can you ask a question like that
I'm
after
curious to
listening
know.
after listening to her background? Yeah, I think I
Wondering how she met you, and how she agreed.
that was mainly firstly it was the yoga, and yoga also means union. So that's where it was one of the starting points, because I was a student, she was a teacher. I used to go there very often, and that changed later more and more. We became also involved with working. But I think also we complement in the sense that I come from the business angle and she comes from the banking and investment angle. And this complements, I think, yeah, very well for our clients
Yeah.
and for our students.
The story was also that I was invited to speak at SIA, Swiss Impact Investment Association, about my association. And then he came to me after the event and say, "Hey, you're not the real banker." I said, "Well, not the real one." So, and this is how we started talking about impact investing and getting involved in some projects together. And then, it's after a year or two, it developed that he came up with this idea to start a TV show. And as I always wanted to have a TV show, I said, why not? Let's give it a try. So to Impact Investing School, Chamomile, and then we ended up as a TV show.
Yeah.
What an amazing rounding of experience, because like you just described, I mean, the two of you have diverse experience, but when you come together, it can be such a powerful combination. And as a person who's been part of the school, and certainly, of course, the good fortune of being part of your TV program, I know that the culmination of that diversity is a phenomenal combination to anybody who has an opportunity to learn from both of you. So that's a wonderful union. Thank you very much for sharing that. And I'd love to know if you can tell us a little bit more about some of the impact investing solutions which lie behind the TV show. You could talk a little bit about that. We'd love to hear.
Okay, so basically we have 4 pillars in short. So our pillar 1 is we are by far the largest group of impact investors in Europe. And if I say we, so you can break us into kind of 5 sorts. One is the really big guys like the European Investment Bank, the Nordic sovereign funds, the pension funds. Then we have banks, asset managers, wealth managers. Then we have a lot of private members and businesses. Fourthly, we have a lot of old families. And lastly, you must be aware that 6 years ago, we brought the head of 12 religions who came to Zug, and they committed a part of their assets for impact investment. So a lot of funds have been set up by them. So that's the fifth group. Our pillar 2 is, of course, education. Sveta started with educating financial institutions and professionals and the public about impact portfolios, in sustainable portfolios and all that. Then we moved over to SMEs. We started first with Europe, Central Europe, West Europe, North Europe. Then we went to Asia, teaching the SMEs on how to incorporate SDGs in their business or how to create business out of SDGs. And then we went to your side of the world. So the Latin America, Mexico, Brazil, Peru, US, Canada. But we also have a very strong focus on that side with the indigenous communities. And what we do is not only teach them how to make the businesses, business plan, as financial plan, structuring and all that, but when necessary or if necessary, we also support them with funding. Our third pillar is the TV show, which you're now watching. It started more than 2 years ago. Our initial idea or the vision was to spread the impact or the awareness of the impact around the world. But we soon found out that it is extremely effective for the businesses and for the funds who come on our TV if they are seeking something. So we had businesses who were seeking for partners. We had businesses who were like seeking new member or new strategic members or new markets. But mostly we had businesses who were seeking funding. And what was really, we found out going forward, that the businesses who were seeking funding, they got the funding. So most of them received their funding.
If they did their homework.
Yeah. And if they had their data room ready and
all the licenses and so on, if it all was okay, then
And the reason is that we have a very small but a very active group in our audience who are watching our TV for projects and funds that we promote or that we present. And these are mainly from our pillar 1, but also a lot is happening from Taiwan, Japan, and Hong Kong. So these are also very, very active on our TV. And our fourth pillar, I think you can tell the best.
Sure, certification. We now started also certifying businesses which want to measure the impact or which are already measuring impact. So we decided to create these certification programs to make measuring impact easy and that businesses could use it in a practical way for branding themselves and distinguishing themselves from competition. And if somebody doesn't know how to measure impact, we provide tools and step-by-step guidance how they can measure impact and then create 1-2-page impact report and use it for branding themselves towards clients, toward other stakeholders, so they can have a competitive advantage among other businesses. It's called Impact Leader Certification Program. Yeah, so that's in a nutshell. I think we can talk much more on that, but if somebody is really interested, just go to iasolutions.ch, choose the pillar we just talked about, and you can have much more details on these topics. We don't want to bore those who want to hear more of behind the curtains kitchen.
Well, it's great to have this, this overview. And I know for anybody who's listening in, and like you said, there's so many people who are repeat audiences here. It'll be very interesting to go onto the website and look at the different pillars just to get more insight on all of this. And I know that this also has very fundamental implication for your target audience. So I'd love to hear from you about, your definition of that audience. I'm no doubt to diverse, but I'd love to hear it. Thank you.
So our target audience, mainly, if you would, for different things. So for the network, everybody is our target audience who has some kind of affinity or some kind of understanding of the impact investment and sustainability.
Or meaning seekers, I call them like that. So anyone who wants some meaning in their lives is welcome.
For the education, of course, financial institutions, and majorly it is the SMEs. Same rule is
startups,
valid.
Businesses, yes.
And what is really important is that they should be aligned to one or more United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. that is really, really for us one of the base for all the pillars.
Or businesses which want to transform and align themselves towards sustainable development goals, because any business creates impact, positive or negative. Some of them are just not measuring it at all. So if you start measuring impact, then you know your impact, then you can manage it, right? And you can make changes incorporating social and environmental aspects, becoming more sustainable. Whatever you do, it's possible.
And for the third pillar, of course, businesses and funds.
The
Again,
TV show.
I mean, for the TV show. And again, the same rule applies. They have to be aligned to one or more UN SDGs. And thought leaders, celebrities. Yeah, I think that would be it.
Yeah, and for the fourth pillar, certification, it's again mostly businesses, as we said, yeah.
Absolutely. So, I mean, to me, it sounds like there's a whole gamut of things because there's, in addition to the diverse audiences, and, you talked about people from indigenous communities to building capacities of businesses to help them make impact, including providing the certification now. I think there's just a huge, diverse group of people that you are supporting through a very important process, as long as it fulfills some of the fundamental criteria, such as being aligned to at least one SDG. And I mean, I think this is a very unique offer that you provide. But I'd love to hear from you in your own words about what you believe makes impact investing solutions stand out in comparison to other impact investing organizations and groups within the ecosystem. So in your words.
Right. So what makes us unique, I think, that we offer holistic solution on how to make impact investment more normal or the new normal, because many are offering maybe education or some certification or data analysis for impact measurement. But what we provide is really holistic, right? So we can help almost everyone to become more sustainable or to get the money, to get resources and create positive impact on our planet. And confirming that is just the prices that we offer, from free webinars, very accessible courses, online courses from $15. You can learn about impact investing already, or measure your impact, learn the basics and move up. And to higher prices for corporates and so on TV show, right? So, but it's really, we try to create what we do and make it accessible. This is also one of the red lines, which was very important for me, because when I was learning about impact investing, it was quite expensive and it was very limited. So we want to bring it really to everyone who is eager to learn and who is eager to transform themselves and create positive impact. Yes, that's what I would say. Do you see anything else unique that you think about?
No, I think what makes us also very special is not only our vision and our team, but the community member. We have a massive, massive community, and it's extremely heterogeneous. So it's from industries to billionaires to film actors, NGOs. So we have a huge community, and everybody is unique and special. And we have some of the most amazing people in our community, like yourself.
To me, it sounds like actually listening and reflecting back on your words, that you're really the ones who are developing this ecosystem. Because like Sveta, like you said, when you started out, there was really not much of an understanding, certainly even less perhaps of an opportunity to understand what impact investment is. And with the diverse, highly heterogeneous group and community that you've built over the years, you're actually quite front and center to being to creating this ecosystem. So to me, it sounds like what you've developed is the ecosystem, and you want to make it all pervasive. And like you might have heard me say before, I believe truly that this is so critical, because the only way to really find sustainable solutions to any of the sustainable development goals and or our alignment with those goals is to work with the impact investment model. And it's phenomenal what I've seen you develop over the years. So I would love to know now, with a lot of mention of the word impact, what your impact is so far in your own reflection, what that impact.
So I wouldn't say like I always speak in my language. So on a macro level, we have been, I'll just give examples. So we have been invited to be one of the founding members of the Swiss government's National Advisory Board. We have been invited by a lot of other country heads, even major and amazing organizations who are working together with us, is like WWF, European Investment Bank, YMCA, World Guide Association. We have your movement, the POC movement,
Protect our planet.
Protect Our Planet movement, and few other partners and supporters. So that is on the macro level. On micro level, at least twice a week or thrice a week, I hear from somebody I'm calling or talking about people. Like 2 days ago, an old business acquaintance of mine, like more than 20 years ago, from Hungary, he told me his grandson, who is now watching our show every week, and he is studying at the university and wants to become a sustainable farmer from our TV. On the other hand, I hear from Yerevan, from Armenia, children in the school are watching our TV, and they have even started creating schools based on what we are promoting on our TV. And Prachi, for example, who is speaking on COP26, or
One of our students.
yeah, and also our views on impact investment or our strategies are being asked by global banks who are setting up impact portfolios or impact products. They ask us for our views on their strategy. So I think that would be on the storytelling level. And now comes the numbers.
One little story or stories where I also face that many students which attended my first workshop like maybe 6 years ago, I see they now go their own ways. They create as a foundations, or they got employed in impact investing industry, or they do some business in this area. So it's really creating impact, like planting seeds, right? With education, you're always planting seeds, and then the person transforms. And this is amazing to see for me. But as you wanted some numbers, I can give you some numbers on our impact. So what we raised, because we were talking about through our TV show, we were able to raise some funds. And this varies from $1 million to $430 million per project, per business that we were raising till now. We already created more than 65 TV show releases. We have 7,000 or more than 7,000 of impact investors in our network. We have more than 7,000 event participants, more than 700 Chamomile users on the community, 100 plus workshops and webinars that were created. We have issued more than 50 certificates, impact leadership program, organized more than 10 conferences or participated, and also 90% of our clients are completely satisfied. So that's in numbers.
Well, the numbers add a lot to the narrative, and I just want to say, that's in a fairly record time frame as well. So it goes to show the extent to which your outreach, your capacity is resulting in phenomenal outcomes. And you referred to the pop movement, and I just want to say, within the pop movement itself, there's a great deal of recognition of the importance of impact investing, starting to change one's mindset and develop projects on the basis of that impact. And I'd love to hear what your own driver, and your own inspiration to do this is, because you're working with actually creating a movement of its own. So I be very excited to hear your thoughts on this. What really engages you and drives you?
Yeah, well, when I think completely back, when I was a kid, I always loved the nature, And as I grew up in a village, we had also us or the neighbors or possible animals, chickens, cows, I know also what is gardening, not from books, right? So maybe this is also in my genes now, that if I eat a fruit, I want it to smell accordingly and not just eat fruits which are grown like, using some chemicals. Or if I see animals, I want to stroke them and not eat them instead. It starts all there. And when I look around, we are destroying our planet. And this is why I want to preserve the world for future generations, for them being able to see fish in the oceans and not plastic, or see a living elephant and not only hear, oh, there were elephants on the planet many, many years before, but now we don't have them anymore, right? And I want people to be surrounded by happy people and not by poverty or destruction. So this is why what I always say, do what you can do with my knowledge, experience, skills. I'm trying to create a better surroundings, what I can do. That's my driver.
So that's Sveta. And for me, it's much more on a simple level. So I grew up with Star Trek. I'm a Trekkie. And if you watch in Star Trek, the idea of planet Earth, forget the story, just Earth, where there is no money. Everybody looks to their full potential. The planet is fully covered with nature, and people are just busy with developing their own potential. That is the kind of future I would like, that there's no poverty, there is no hunger, and the nature and everything is thriving together in all as one.
Yeah, I can tell it's very deep and profound for both of you. I know Trekkies are very deeply involved in Star Trek too. But you're so right. It provides a view of the world and a perspective of the world which is in complete alignment with nature. And I agree with you too, Sweta. I mean, ultimately, we are what we eat. We are what we really feel deep down here. And I think that for both of you, having had that experience firsthand with the two of you, and I, not only at work, but getting to know you as the beautiful people you are, it comes from a very deep place. And so that driver and that inspiration is truly profound. And I know that you've touched many people because it's just so true. And it would be beautiful at this stage to get to hear what some of those friends, those guests, those clients, the family you have created have to say about you.
Let's see. What does it say about us?
It's all about
My name is Sanna.
And my name is Markus, and we come from Block Solutions. We sincerely hope that you can find your supporters through the Banerjees.
The Impact Investment podcast series has been a great inspiration for us. The podcast has helped us get into contact with relevant impact investors, investors that share our passion for girls and young women to change their future to the better, but also investors who can benefit from our work.
Don't hesitate. I'm sure you will get all the help and support from Sveta and then what you need, and then just do it. Don't hesitate anymore.
I like it, just do it. Yeah, we are very action oriented, I must say. Yeah. Talk less, do more, and that's
Yeah. Because there's such a de-link. But today's world, there's so much a de-link in today's world. We all talk about the environment, but we are driving diesel car. We all talk about the animal pain and suffering, but we are eating meat. There's so much, even as an individual, we are so much de-linked from our actions and from our views. And I think it's also not easy for me. I mean, it's not always easy to be linked with everything. Whatever I say, I do. It's not always easy, but it's a battle that you start every day in the morning. You wake up, you want to stay longer in the bed, but you have to get up and you have things to do. So I think it's being, I don't know who said it. I think Gandhi said it.
Yes.
Or was it Nelson Mandela that you have to be what you believe in, or something like that?
Be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was. You see, you're much better than me.
Yes.
We still have someone important to show who joined Chamomile Impact Community and why he's important, because he himself was making profit and creating businesses for many, many years. But even he now realizes that it's not only about profit anymore, right? So many investors do realize that profit is not everything in life. Fortunately, right? The impact side brings so much more fulfillment if you are an investor. If you can do both profit and impact, why not?
Absolutely. And there'll be only more to gain for everybody, because we'll support a healthier future and a healthier planet, and all the species that we are so blessed to share the planet with as a consequence. So you're absolutely right. Even where we might not know how to start very big, make small changes, and that makes a big difference. And every drop, as they say, fills the ocean. And I think that that's what you're really propelling. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what more you think you can do to protect our planet.
Well, of course, as most entrepreneurs, we can do much more if we have more resources. Very simple. It's what I hear every day from many entrepreneurs, and we are also entrepreneurs. And we can scale up our impact around the globe and speed up the transformation towards impact investing. So, of course, we can do much more. Yes.
I mean, each of us, and it doesn't matter whether you are a billionaire or you're living on the street in Africa or India or somewhere. Each of us has an impact, has a footprint on the planet. So I think we all can do a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
As they say, together we will go far. And Sveta, you brought up something very important, because at the end of the day, resources are so key to scaling. And we do have that window of opportunity right now. So there's also a time element to this, right? Time sensitive. So since you flagged that issue, I'd love to hear from you about whether you are working and looking for funding partners and partners in principle to be able to achieve that impact that you're set out to achieve.
Well, I can say yes. Till now, we have been growing organically with very strong cash flows. But as we see that we want to create more impact, and for that we need more resources, we have opened a new window of opportunity to investors. Yes. So from 1 to 5 million Swiss francs, we can absorb very easily for product development, for further development of our community platform, Chamomile, more courses creation, marketing, sales support, and more importantly, bringing our services and products to different countries, specifically in the emerging market countries, so to make ground level impact there.
Because the issue is, because we are physically based out of Europe, so we can reach out a lot, but it is still limited geographically to the Europe and the surrounding, which also makes us quite expensive to many countries or places like in Asia and Africa, Latin America. But they need our education just as much as anybody in Europe. So we want to reach out as far as possible, as much as possible. And that requires ground level partnership, that requires physical presence, and that requires resources. So that's what we can use the resources
Yes.
for.
So yes, anyone who is willing to support our mission, please get in touch with us.
I hope there'll be a lot of people listening, and as they think back on your journeys and what you have set out to achieve, are motivated and inspired to support your mission, because this, as you described, is something that touches the heart of people on the ground, people who often actually there's they don't even have people to really listen and or support. And you're doing that, really affecting change where the pulse on the ground is, and also working with large businesses in the process too. So I urge everybody who's listening to please consider reaching out and supporting this important mission that Impact Investing Solutions has set out to.
And maybe Ash, we can watch this video from Kevin Harrington now because he's one of the supporters. So let's see what he says, and that's I think anyone can support us like he does.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kevin Harrington, an original shark from the hit TV show Shark Tank. Now, I've been working with thousands of successful entrepreneurs from all over the world, but today I want to talk to you about Chamomile and the owners, Svetlana and Ben. Now, Chamomile is a platform in sustainable sector that enables you to find impact investors, impact projects, and meaningful engagement for sustainable development goals. On the platform, you can learn about impact investing, and you can also connect with the whole Chamomile community. I'm now joining Chamomile as an advisor, and I believe that this is one of the best impact investing community platforms out there. It's going to unite the whole ecosystem to create global social and environmental impact to save our planet and make a huge impact on the world. Chamomile also has a great team alongside me. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon at Chamomile. Thank you.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely stunning.
I always love the energy of Kevin. When I'm low energy, I just watch him 1 minute and you think, oh, yeah, we need to continue doing what we do.
We live in Switzerland, up in the mountains. We don't have so much oxygen in the air. Sometimes we get a bit down.
Well, he's a great ambassador, and I can tell you that Chamomile is just a phenomenal tool and platform that brings a number of different players together. And I think it's really crucial because that is key to building the movement that you've set out to build. But also, very importantly, there's a number of experiences that we can very quickly exchange as we network with people. And networking is key to the collectivization. So, and of course, a leader like the one we had the good fortune, Kevin Harrington, just a few minutes ago. He's a tremendous leader in the field. So his guidance to a platform like that is invaluable. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you believe your audience. There are so many people there. You've got a wide audience, Sveta. You shared so many numbers, and they're listening to various different platforms. What can they do to support you in your mission? They're so integrated with you.
Well, I think it's pretty simple to subscribe to our channels, to spread it around in their networks with family, share it with friends, and share it in their communities around, right? To help scaling the impact, to help people to know what are sustainable development goals, to help people to create businesses which create impact and profit. Yeah, that's one thing. The other thing for the people who have money, or businesses, corporations who have money, to sponsor us or maybe come to a TV show. So, and also you can invite us to speak at your events so we can bring the light of impact investing to the audience which you have.
What I would like to add to is that if you are an entrepreneur or a business who is seeking funding, contact us. On the other hand, it is also valid for the investors that if you're an investor, and you don't have to be an impact investor, you can be any investor, contact us. We may be having projects which fulfill your criteria or your taste or your expertise. So let us know. We have so many amazing projects with us, from our students, from our clients, our TV guests and everything. So I would say, yes, that's how they can support us, by supporting our projects.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's beautiful. And, I've met up with several of the incredible leaders that you've built over the years. And you talked about Pachauri as being one of them, but there's just so many of them. And they're going from stride to stride. So I'm really happy that we have this opportunity right now to call out to each one of you to reach out to Ben and Sweta. There's just a whole gamut of things and a whole wide range of things that are possible, and you probably get introduced to a world and dimensions of the world that you might not even know exist right now. So please do get in touch, sign up, reach out. I think that's just fabulous. What I want to close out with right now, Ben, Sweta, is to ask you for a call to action to the wide global audience that's tuning in from all over the world right now.
Should I start?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so look at your lifestyle. Look for whom you're working. Look how your money is invested, even if it's a small amount or big amount and even more. And make sure that you are not only harming, but proactively engaged in doing good at all these levels. Realize that we are all interconnected and that we are part of the nature, and the nature is part of us. And if you realize that, I think it's very easy to act accordingly to leave a better planet for future generations.
And I would say just one word: be authentic. If you say something, act accordingly and learn as much. Even if you eat a little food buy a product from the shop, try to learn where is that food coming from? Where is that product coming from? What are the impacts that product is having on the surrounding? I think these are the tiny little ways with which you can make a huge, huge difference to the world. Yeah.
I'm delighted to have a chance to close out at this important note. We are one with nature, and we can be the change we want to see in this world. So please, consider what the impact of your actions are. Consider that you can be part of the solution too. And again, every drop floats the ocean. So do think of how small actions can make a difference. Make a change where you can. But the important thing I think we've learned from Impact Investing Solutions, from Sveta and Glenn today, is that there's ways for us to be able to be part of that important global community that is propelling the change to a sustainable world by making impact. We're learning, we're growing, and again, together we'll go far. So I think just being able to hold hands with Ben and Sveta will take us a very long way. And thank you so much.
Thank you, dear Ash, for interviewing us today. It's such a pleasure that you said yes to that, and thank you for all your questions. Yes, we are delighted to have you as a TV presenter today with us.
Thank you for the good fortune. I truly believe that every interaction I have with each of you individually and together, I learned so much, but particularly today. So I just want to thank you for where your heart lies and your deep inspiration, your true and authentic, like you said, Ben, love for the planet, all that, all the wonder it brings with it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope we can have that audience grow. So please reach out, everyone. Ben and Sveta, and look up the website and reach out to Impact Investing Solutions.
Thank you, Ash. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, dear viewers, with this, I'd like to end the 4th episode of season 6. And next week, we will be back with some guests, which we will interview again. And yes, anyone who wants to be a guest on the TV show, please write to us at apply@isolutions.ch. Anything else you want to add?
No, that's it. So bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for watching. Bye, Ash.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Sveta, Ben. Thank you. And the audience.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Impact Investing TV show. Make sure you subscribe to our channel not to miss any future episodes.
Leave us some feedback and get in touch with us if you want to be our next TV show guest.
And find us on TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Spotify, podcasts, and any of your favorite social media places.
And join the awesome Impact community. We look forward to sharing the next episode with you. And remember, it's not hard to act.
Just give your heart to impact.